You know, a lot of people take a look at the housing market and existing home sales in the latest month, declining about 3.4%, and say, you know, it's just a matter of time before, just like stocks are crashing, real estate will crash. I don't see that parallel here, mainly because it's nothing like it was then during the housing meltdown more than a decade ago. Rules have changed, sobriety has returned. And so while it might be a little overvalued in some places, again, the idea of a crash doesn't seem possible, but I could be wrong. Dolly Lenz is probably one of the most successful real estate agents on the planet. Tens of billions of dollars of real estate sold under her name. She's kind enough to join us right now. Dolly Lenz, real estate CEO, Dolly Lenz. So Dolly, do you see this crash that some are saying is coming to housing? I don't, but again, I see big differences. What about you?
Crash is not coming to real estate. A softening is coming to real estate, and possibly a welcome softening. You know, prices have gone up so fast, like mortgage rates, like inflation, like everything else, that nobody can seem to get on the real estate ladder quickly enough. They're losing houses, they can't get on, and maybe this little break is good for real estate.
Now, I remember with the last housing run-up and then subsequent meltdown, there were those no-doc loans. People were getting mortgages who really shouldn't have gotten mortgages. There was also a froth to it. People were flipping properties sight unseen and buying them back or selling them again at a profit. I don't see a lot of that. Now, there are certainly hot markets. New York City comes to mind, what's been going on in Florida and Texas. But again, I don't see anything like what was going on back then. What about you?
Well, first of all, there's no inventory, right? So if you have no inventory, it really can't go out of sight. It's impossible for it to go down with no inventory. Mortgage rates, of course, have doubled.
But there's more inventory, right, Dolly? I mean, we are seeing more people who've been reluctant to put their homes on the market doing so. And some of them, 1 out of 4 of them, cutting their price. What do you make of that?
They are cutting their price, and those are real sellers, right? But there's a lot of people not coming onto market, and I think that's part of the untold story. They're locked into their homes with golden handcuffs. They have a 3% mortgage, a 2.8% mortgage. Now they're 6%. So if they want to downsize or upsize, it's way too expensive to do that. So they're locked in. They're not going to come on the market. And we've spoken to many people who are saying, look, I have to ride this out. Nothing I can do.
So, Dolly, when people look at what's been happening with the stock market, you know, that's the means by which a lot of people, especially well-heeled investors, I guess your crowd, Dolly, that have been using that as the means to buy real estate. But that currency has lost a lot of value here, and I'm just wondering, does that worry you?
Well, it does worry me, and primarily because real estate is such a confidence play, right? People feel happy and comfortable and rich. They look at their 401k statement. Yay, I'm in the money. I can go spend it now.
Right.
And big ticket items suffer the most. So whether that's a house, a car, all big ticket items, people pull back. And add to that inflation. And people are really freaked out over inflation. And then what, right? So that could put a damper on things. But again, it could be a welcome damper.
So you're looking for a bit of a slowdown, a sort of a softening here. Is it going to be in the markets that have had the biggest run-up? Is it going to be in the South Floridas and some of these other hot spots?
That's where we're seeing the most price reductions, right? So whether it's Tampa or Miami or Naples, you know, we're getting one email after another, price reduced, price reduced, price reduced. However, the great migration, you know, out of high tax states to low tax states, I think is going to keep that in check.
What about foreign buyers? They've been a big part of this. Aren't too many with the wherewithal to do what they had been doing. What happens?
They aren't here, right? And generally speaking, foreign buyers, if they're not in, let's say, New York or Florida or LA, they're not buying, right? Very few people buy remotely. So I think that is an issue. Hopefully with the lifting of testing that they just lifted to come into the U.S., perhaps more people will come this summer, and that's what we're looking forward to.
Got it. Dolly Lenz, very good seeing you again.
Thank you so much for having me.
So an upbeat view of what's happened in the real estate world, just to put this in some sort of perspective. Usually